Hey guys, today we have a 2019 Chevrolet Traverse, and we're going to do a test fit of a Thule Helium Pro 3-bike hanging style rack. Now this bike rack is pretty special in its own way. It is very easy to handle, comes in at about 20 pounds, but it's still able to carry 3 bikes. You don't see that too often, especially when you get into those platform racks. They just get to be 60, 70, 80 pounds, and they just get a little too hard to handle when you want to put it in your hitch or pull it out and store it. So this one's going to be very easy to handle and still give you that capacity for carrying bikes. You can carry 3 bikes, up to 3 bikes, to and from the trails. We're going to have these cradles that hold our bikes in place. We have 3 different points where our bike is secured. We have 2 straps on top holding the top tube down onto the cradles, and we also have this anti-rattle cradle with a strap through it. That takes out a lot of the unnecessary shaking while we're traveling at high speeds. Now it's also going to come with this long cam buckle strap. Now with only 1 bike on there, we've gone ahead and used it to tie our front wheel off so it doesn't spin or rotate while we're traveling. It's going to help prevent it from making contact with other bikes you might have loaded. If you have it fully loaded, you can use it as a safety strap by strapping your bikes up to each other and not necessarily tightening it down all the way and pulling the bikes together, but just around it so that you can pull it, just get a little bit snug. That way if the bike rack were to fail at all, the bikes would not fall off, the strap would hold them down. Now we're going to go ahead and take the bike off. I'm going to start with the strap. Make sure you get the strap off first. We just have the excess wrapped up here. You can see it's very long, so you're going to be able to use it with all 3 bikes. And we'll just toss that to the side. Now for the bike, we're going to press down on these tabs and then pull up on the straps. These straps are going to have a nice rubber padding on the bottom side. It's going to help protect your bike frame from any type of scratches or abrasions. And then more anti-rattle cradle. And from there, we can just remove the bike. Now with no bikes loaded, I always like to go ahead and replace my straps just because it looks a little cleaner when you're traveling with it empty, and it's going to prevent the straps from flopping around too much. Now with any hitch-mounted accessory, you are going to have added length to your vehicle. In the case of our Traverse, we're going to measure from the outermost point of our bike rack to our bumper to see how much we've added on to the back of our vehicle. Now, let's go down to this pole. I've added on about 36.5 inches to the back of our Traverse. And for our ground clearance, we'll come down here and measure at the bottom part right there. Our ground clearance is about 19 inches, so that's plenty of space, and the Traverse is a vehicle that sits kind of higher than other vehicles. So any speed bumps or curbs you want to go up, you're not going to have any troubles bottoming out. Now to conserve on space, we can fold these arms down. What we're going to do is pull up on this handle and then fold it down. You're going to go until you hear it lock into place, like so. Now we'll measure again from our bumper to the outermost point of our bike rack. We're down to about 19 inches added onto the back. So that is a pretty big difference. You want to keep this in mind for any close quarter situations like parking. Now, when the bike rack is empty, we can fold it away, or tilt it away, excuse me, to gain access to the trunk. We're just going to pull up on this lever, tilt it away. Now we can gain access to the trunk. And again, I want to stress that we advise you not to utilize this feature unless the bike rack is empty. But from here, we got plenty of space to grab any cargo, gear, or even groceries that we might have in the back. Now to tilt it back up, we're just going to raise it up until it locks into place. Now let's come down and see how it attaches to our hitch. Now on our Traverse, we have a 2-inch by 2-inch hitch receiver. But if you have another vehicle in your household which has an 1.25 by 1.25 receiver, we can remove this sleeve right here, and that'll convert the shank down to an 1.25 by 1.25 shank. Our anti-rattle system is right here. Once we tighten down this knob, it's going to take out the shake and play from our bike rack while we're traveling, and it does have a lock on it, so we can lock it up and then it'll take the action from the knob away, and then you can't activate the tightening knob again without that key. Now with all that being said, that's going to do it for our test fit of the Thule Helium Pro 3-bike hanging style rack on our 2019 Chevrolet Traverse.
Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action. This simulates turning corners or evasively maneuvering. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Once we get to the full speed bumps, we'll see the up and down action. This will be just like driving in and out of a parking lot, parking garage, or driveway.